Hello, everyone. My name is Mario. I'm going to be looking at some fun stuff. I feel like I've spent a whole lot of my life reacting to things quietly or among friends, and I realize why don't I share a bit of that experience with you? I don't get to go in entirely cold on this one as far as what the Obi Wan Kenobi trailer. I didn't get to go in cold. I actually started watching this one a little bit before I even thought about putting this up. I thought, well, that's a kind of a waste. But here we go. Actually, you know what? Before I jump right into it, I should talk a little bit about it. I actually have a lot of concerns for this particular series following, the relative success of The Mandalorian and the not so success of Boba Fett, where I'm a little concerned. I think we have a lot of rich material to work with when it comes to this particular section. Like I said, I have concerns about things about how they might be executed during this whole thing, but let's see what we got. Tatooine. Loving it. Real sets. It's feeling pretty Star Warsy.
We lost.
It's a little defeatist. Let me pause. That's a little defeatist for the way that the Revenge of the Sith actually went. Because remember, at the end of this one, at the end of that one, rather, Yoda is going to say something like, "I have a message for you from Qui-Gon." Remember that whole mess? It's like, it seemed a little more hopeful than that. Learning about the netherworld of the Force and all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm over reading that particular little line. Well, that's also fun. Showing that Obi-Wan did watch over Luke, which we kind of just assumed. It's hinted at enough in the movie, but it's hard to say. A little Battle of the Fates music. That can't go wrong there. Ship I don't recognize. Not Palpatine. Oh, so I never played Knights of the Old Republic, but I know those types of characters are very near and dear to a lot of people who play them. I know names like Darth Bane. I don't know who that is for sure. But that sounded like a guy trying to do a Palpatine voice, but maybe that was just played up again for the trailer. A little concerning there.
Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail.
Hey, look at that! I think it's the same guy who actually played Uncle Owen at the very end of Revenge of the Sith, if I'm not mistaken. I'd actually have to look back and see who played him in the in Episode 3. So it looks like a lady who's kind of a bounty hunter but doesn't wear the Mandalorian stuff, so something kind of separate. Neat.
Code is like an itch.
Well, that's kind of funny. I guess a little more because I'm sorry. I'm so I'm like a like Harry Plinkett said. I'm like a battered housewife going back, knowing that my treatment's still going to be bad when I go back. Because I think, oh, okay, well, that's kind of a classic-y plot idea that the Jedi are prone to do what they do, and if they create bad situations, the bad guys in the story, that it might just bring out the bring out the Jedi out of hiding. Neat. But I have a feeling that's going to backfire horribly. I think it might be just an excuse to make the series dark.
Cannot help it.
Ah, man, dang you, Ewan McGregor. You still look great in the get-up. Wow. So a guy spinning what looked like another double-sided lightsaber. I really don't know, like the staff saber, like a Darth Maul's thing. I guess that's what's at least we're supposed to evoke images of it. Because if I didn't follow the Clone Wars all terribly, so I didn't realize how much more Obi-Wan and Darth Maul had in common with each other, as far as how many more run-ins, like impossibly more history than the movies implied. So it's kind of neat. Got some villains, got vaguely some stormtroopers, got Uncle Owen being, I believe who's Uncle Owen, being approached by the same Mandalorian lady who refuses to wear a helmet, but looks like she's wearing the Mandalorian chest piece. Hope survives. All right. Okay. They have my attention. They have my interest. It doesn't start for a long time, May 25th, so we got some time between now and then. All right, now to give you guys a little bit more insight as far as to how I feel about a lot of this shenanigans is, like I said, we had two disappointing outings where Mandalorian tended to be a hit and a miss. Like everything was sort of the less good version of itself, and then all of a sudden we had Book of Boba Fett, which was one of the most laughably terrible productions I have seen in some time, and I don't know what to make of that stuff. What I'm getting at with all that stuff is this is another coin flip. It has some amazing things going for it. McGregor doing his Obi Wan, which is still on point and wonderful. It's got at least people who look more competent in acting and they're playing their parts than it did in Boba Fett. But if you guys have been listening to the chatter online, I think you guys know where one of the problems is going to come from in this little story of ours. I don't know if you guys remember, one of the big concerns is that you kind of can't have the whole point of the series happen in the series. We can't have Obi-Wan and Darth Vader cross paths. So there's a little bit of a concern about that, where we're saying since that famous line from the first movie is I haven't seen you in all these years, they've had no run-ins in the meantime, it's a little bit of a concern that they're going to try to um, try to change that in their history. We don't want that. We would rather that didn't happen because as soon as you start changing things in the history and retconning things, it doesn't end anywhere. So I've heard people say that they thinking it could be that situation where they're going to have them meet only like on a spiritual plane, which might be kind of we were talking about that whole business of the netherworld of the force. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the best. The only thing I can hope is please don't be a shaggy dog story. Don't be the story that begins and ends in the same doggone place. But it's a little tough to think that's not going to happen that way. Because remember, Obi-Wan does start this little story on Tatooine, and we kind of know by episode 4, New Hope, that he kind of has to end up there. So it's a little concerning. Well, I will go ahead and post more in the future. We're all going to learn together. It's going to be a fun time. You guys take care.